Chris, are we good? We're good. All right. Good morning. My name is David Krober, and I am a member of this congregation, and I'm your worship associate today. So on behalf of the Reverend Dave Dunn, who has just begun his annual vacation, summer vacation, our own Shelley Negrani, who's going to be delivering our message today, our intern minister, Liz Martin, our Director of Religious Exploration, Lexi T. Brown, our music director, Alex Peach, the great technical team that's making today's live stream possible, and our greeters and everybody else. We'd like to welcome you here to the Unitarian Universalist Metro Atlanta North congregation, which we lovingly call UUMAN. UUMAN is a liberal faith community with the mission to nurture our spirit, strive for justice, and transform the world. No matter who you are, whom you love, or where you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Welcome to all that are joining us remotely today via live stream. If we have any visitors today and you feel comfortable doing so, we'd like for you to stand and just give us your name and where you're from so that we can worship together as friends. Yes? Okay, Angelie and Jason, welcome. Yeah, welcome. Anybody else? Any other first-time visitors? Okay.
We're the Luther's, Jane and my husband Jeff, and we're from Roswell, and we were at the park last fall.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Thank you. Welcome. Anyone else? Okay. I've got a few announcements today before we get started. Please consult your printed order of worship for our second hour adult enrichment offerings. And just a PSA here, I noticed that I used to get a This Week in UUMAN email that Robin sends out, and I hadn't been seeing that during the month of May, and I found it in my spam folder. So if you're a member of this congregation and you're not getting that, check your spam folder because it may be going straight there. But that's where you'll find more information about upcoming events and what's coming with the service this week. So today is also the first day of our summer RE schedule. So they will be meeting during this first hour when we're doing service in here. They're going to be doing different activities. Today, they are making guacamole in Fellowship Hall. So I don't know if we'll be allowed to go over and have some when we're done here. But if there's anyone in here that wants to really go make guacamole, this is your chance. Go slip right on out. Today's also the move-in day for our Family Promise guest family. So you may see some folks moving around. There was a truck here earlier, but Family Promise is moving in. They're going to be our 50-50 partner this month, and we have a guest speaker from Family Promise today to tell us more about their mission. I think that's it. Now let's greet one another in the hand or elbow of friendship. Okay. It's great to have the sun out. Everybody's, I think, in a little bit better mood here. A little conversation this morning. So as I mentioned before, today is a 50-50 Sunday. So the first Sunday of each month is when we have a ministry partner that joins us to speak and tell us about their mission. And then 50% of the basket offering that we collect will go to support the work of that particular ministry. And for the rest of this month, any offerings that are made specifically designating 50-50, you can write a check and put them in the basket, or you can go online and give through Breeze. But half of that, or anything designated as 50-50, will be shared with the ministry. So our June partner is Family Promise. Their mission is to prevent and end homelessness for families with children and help them achieve sustainable independence through a community-based response. Our speaker this morning is Andrea Brantley, the Executive Director for Family Promise North Fulton and DeKalb. She came from the Center for Children and Young Adults, where she was the Director of Development, overseeing fundraising and marketing initiatives. Andrea is a community affairs and nonprofit executive with a decade of leadership experience in fundraising, marketing, and event planning. Her specialties include corporate donorship, volunteer cultivation, annual fund, and in-kind campaigns. She has extensive experience in organizational leadership, prospect research, conflict resolution, and team building. Her expertise is fostering long-term donor and volunteer relationships and fundraising. She's passionate about the ministry and mission and collaborative solution of keeping families together. Andrea lives in Woodstock and has one grown son, Miles, and in her spare time, she enjoys yoga, hiking, traveling, and spending time with family and friends. So please join me in welcoming Andrea Brantley.
Well, good morning, UUMAN. It's wonderful to see all the familiar faces and a lot of new ones too. So for those that you don't know me, I'm Andrea Brantley, and I'm the Executive Director for Family Promise of North Fulton and DeKalb. And for those of you that don't know about our program, I just want to share a little bit so that you're familiar, especially for the new people that are here today. So Family Promise is moving into the youth house today, and we will stay there for 3 weeks. And that is one of the things that is really special about your congregation, is that ordinarily our families, 3 families at a time, move to a new congregation every 7 days. So you can imagine how hard that is on a family. And so we work with, congregations of all faiths to house our families, and then we do the case management for them. So again, them being here for 3 weeks not only helps with them not having to move, every 7 days, but it also helps our case manager be able to have those families in one place for 3 weeks. So we're grateful for that. We, like I said, work with congregations of all faiths, so typically in 3 weeks when they leave here, they will go to another congregation, and that congregation will do the same thing that you all are doing. So I think one of the things that I really like about our organization is that we bring all these different denominations and affiliations together, and we're all working for the people in our community that need our help. And so one of the things that I like to share with people that most people don't know about Family Promise is that we prevent homelessness as well. So if there's a family in North Fulton or DeKalb County that is getting ready to be evicted or is going to miss their rent that month, we can help them with funds to help not get them into the hole of homelessness, because once they're there, it's really, really hard to dig themselves out. The other thing we do is we continue to support a family after they graduate, and by that we can also be there financially for a family. We were noticing that families were staying with us longer than 90 days, and it was because they were scared to leave, because they didn't want to become homeless again. So a lot of our families come to us living in cars. And you can imagine the fear and probably some PTSD about going back into that situation once they're out of it. We had a little girl that was, lived with her three brothers and her mom in a car for way too long. And when they finally, found us and we were able to put them into this program, the rotational shelter, where the families are, here for 3 weeks, she did not want to get back in the car. She was scared to go back in the car. She threw a tantrum about getting back in the car. So these kind of long-term effects that homelessness has on children is, really, really deep-rooted. And so we've decided that preventing homelessness is really the best thing that we can do. So I just want to thank you all for, being here for our families this week. I know we have a couple opportunities that haven't been signed up. If you want to, get in touch with, Mike, he's, would be happy to share the sign-up genius with you. It's very easy. It gives you really explicit instructions. And if you decide that you want to volunteer and you're one of those people that signed up for dinner, don't be scared. It's just like having dinner with your friends. Our families might be a little shy at the beginning, but bring your kids. It's a great way for the kids to interact, and it also strikes up conversation because the kids kind of take over and make a bunch of noise, and then it becomes comfortable. So again, thank you all for what you do for us, and have a blessed day.
So our call to worship today is called "It's Not Always Easy to Find Love at the Center" by Esther Hurlburt. It is not always easy to find love at the center. There is not a set of easy instructions numbered 1 through 7, or maybe 8. It is not always easy to find love at the center. Today, in Covenant, we celebrate our living tradition, which invites us to take deep breaths of fresh air into the newness of every day so that our minds, hearts, and spirits will be continually nourished. It is not always easy to find love at the center. So for today, we gather in covenant to celebrate the reality that love is at the core of our beings and that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges which love requires of us. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace. Amen. And now let us light our chalice together. Thank you. So today we light our chalice as a beacon of hope for those who find themselves displaced, in need of safety or shelter, to find a place of refuge and rest. Let our flame be the warmth of community that attracts, nourishes, protects, and releases them to find stability and permanence in their lives. And now, as you are able, would you please rise and stand and sing our opening hymn number 1031, which is in the teal softback hymnal. Alex will play through once, and then we will sing together. At this point in our service, we share our joys with each other to magnify them and our sorrows to divide the weight of their pain. If you're so moved, please feel free to come forward, state your name, and drop a pebble in the bowl and express a joy or a sorrow that you may have. For those of you attending via our live stream, if you have a joy or a sorrow that you'd like to share, please type it into the chat, and I'll see if I can grab those and place them.
Good morning. I'm Meredith McCaskey. I'm a member here. My pebble is a pebble of joy because it's Pride Month, and I want to wish a happy Pride to all our LGBTQ friends and family.
Good morning. My name is Valeria Camaño. I'm a member of this congregation. I have a joy. So I know test scores don't always matter in school, but the majority of my students went up almost a complete level in their English speaking abilities. Most of the other students only went half or like 0.25. So I feel really good about moving schools and leaving this class more empowered in reading, speaking, writing, so on and so forth. So.
Yes, hi, I'm Janet Kaplan, a member of the congregation. I have it's a cautionary joy. My younger son, Matthew, has been experiencing for several years now, I'd say at least 5 years, a lot of pain going from his neck, going all the way down his back, and just everything in his entire spinal area, everything has been bothering him and hurting him, causing him pain. And for the last 5 years, we have jumped around from one specialist to another. My cautionary joint is that he did, about 3 weeks ago, he had surgery on his neck, on the cervical, on 3 vertebrae of his neck, which seems to be where it's all radiating from. And I just pray, and I'm not a praying person, but I don't know what other word to use. I just pray that this will relieve him from all the pain, from a lot of the pain, and allow him to be happy and move forward with his life. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Donna Melcher, and I'm a member of this congregation. And it is my joy today to let you all know that we have a new element of our playscape, Whimsical Woods, that is available for the kids. It's called the River Kitchen, and it is a water-based play area for the young ones. So if you have little ones, they'd be really welcome to go explore that today or whenever. Oh, and I forgot. I want to especially thank Miranda Philbin and Kelly Callan for all the creative work that they did in that space.
Good morning, I'm Martin Podorowski, and my joy is that this weekend our senior youth, our high school students, are getting to enjoy a trip up to Boston to learn about the roots of the UU faith up in Boston, as well as some cool American history sites that they're going to get to visit up there. So once again, thank you all for your direct and indirect support that has allowed them to have that experience.
Good morning. My name is Gus Haydorn. Yesterday, I observed a great tragedy in our city. It was Thoreau that said, any fool can cut down a tree because they can't run away. Well, yesterday, the city of Roswell cut down some of our finest trees. Very massive tulip poplar and various other hardwoods. Kelly Callan and I served on the Mimosa board for 7 years, and we left about a year ago, I suppose, because it became clear that the mayor and council had no interest in the input from the citizens. So when you have a moment and you have a love for our historic district, travel by Mimosa and see the disaster that has been created there in the name of creating a wedding venue for a few rich folks, and to provide parking so that people don't have to drive at all. It is a devastated site at this point, and it's important to remember that we have an election coming up in the fall.
Terry Talton, I guess I'm a brand new member of the congregation, and I just wanted to drop a pebble of joy for my 5-year anniversary with Paul.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson. I'm a member of the dedicated live stream team. And I don't have one or two, I have 3 joys I'd like to share today. First joy is we have a new member of our live stream team, John Reinke. He is on camera today. Our team is growing, and we're happy to have you too. Second joy is tomorrow I'm having knee surgery, and I am thankful for doctors that know how to do that, because I don't. So yes, please think of me for that. Okay. And my third joy, and 1 week from Tuesday, because I'm going to be out next week recovering from knee surgery, Denise Wilson, who was also a member of the congregation, and I will be celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary.
And I'm David Krober again. I want to drop a pebble of joy. On Wednesday, we had the celebration of life for my mother, and then Thursday morning, my brother and I interred her ashes where my father is buried at Georgia National Cemetery. So again, a wonderful joy to celebrate her life. One of the speakers at her service was her college roommate. They've known each other for 70 years, and she told some wonderful stories about my mother as a 17-year-old going to the University of Alabama. So that was a great joy. And I'll drop one final pebble for the joys and sorrows that are still too tender to escape the folds of our hearts. I ask that you would keep each other in thoughts and prayers during the coming week.
I'm already falling apart here. Okay. Good morning. About 40 years ago, I was looking for a new church. I went to one picked at random and found that there were only about 30 people in the congregation. It was explained to me that there had been larger, but had recently split into 2 groups. The source of the trouble was that some people believed that there should be no musical accompaniment to singing, because in the Bible, when it says, "Raise a joyful noise unto the Lord," it doesn't say anything about instruments. The other group felt like musical instruments should be included, and that's the church that I was at. So when the hymn started, the words were projected onto the wall, And I want you to know that I'm proud of myself because I didn't say anything snarky like, when were overhead projectors in the Bible? We don't have that kind of differences in this church. It is a strength that because Unitarian Universalism does not have a dogma, we are able to avoid that kind of drama. Like all Unitarian Universalist congregations, UUMAN is a self-governing democracy, choosing our own leadership, handling our own finances, and choosing our own delegates to the General Assembly. While this is a strength, it can also be a source of tension and disagreement, much like any institutions in which individuals have been given rights and responsibility to make decisions. Over the years, we have experienced disagreement over redecorating Fellowship Hall, cutting down trees, using bottled water at evening events, rescheduling our services and creating second hour, renting out our buildings, plants in the garden or plants taken out of the garden, calling our newer hymnal teal. Really? How we raise money, what we do with that money. We have struggled through serious differences around how we balance our missions of nurture our spirit and strive for justice. Some want more social activism. Others want this to be a refuge from politics. Some of us believe that everyone who is able should volunteer to keep this place going. For others, UUMAN is the only place in their lives where they are fed and cared for, the only place they are allowed to receive without being required to give. On occasion, all of these disagreements become heated and even angry. This seems odd, as it is in a place of worship that we would expect to express our best and highest selves. But I believe that it makes sense that it is exactly in a place like UUMAN that disagreements grow and flourish. We own this place. UUMAN will not exist if we do not make it exist. No government agency or foundation or private entity is going to come in and pay our water bill. We own this place. It is ours. And in our society, when we own something, we get to be the boss of it. Having a number of bosses who are not in agreement is a recipe for great difficulty. So we have developed tools that hold space for disagreement and allow us to remain a loving community. The most important of these is our respectful relations covenant. According to the Unitarian Universalist Association, the covenant is a process to heal and nourish ourselves so we can nourish the world. We wrote our own covenant, and it's posted on the website. And while I'm sure that every person in this room has read that document on the website, I'd just like to read it now as a reminder. The Respectful Relations Covenant. One of UUMAN's greatest strengths is the diversity of talent, energy, perspective, vision, and experiences each of us brings to our congregation. To reach our full potential as a community and to honor our mission statement, I aspire to ensure UUMAN is an accepting place where people of every faith, background, age, race, culture, and sexual orientation will be welcome and free to seek deeper social and spiritual commitment. I acknowledge the need for individual responsibility for the health of our community and the awareness and practice of healthy communication. As a member of the congregation of UUMAN, I will respect others' inherent worth and dignity, relating to others in ways that reinforce the 7 principles. 2, accept responsibility for my own words and actions. 3, respect others even when we disagree, valuing the insight and perspective those differences might bring. 4, seek to understand by listening attentively, actively, and respectfully to the views, perspectives, and opinions of others. 5, speak my truth honestly and directly with care and compassion. 6, aspire to have the courage to speak up when I or others are not being heard or respected. 7, honor the confidentiality and private disclosures of others. 8, communicate in ways that foster productive outcomes or lead to positive actions by the congregation, whatever the medium might be. 9, encourage others to embrace the principles and spirit of this covenant. And 10, use the restoring productive behavior guidelines when I believe this covenant has not been lived up to. Whatever we do here, we do in covenant with each other. That last sentence in the document is written as if this is a fact. In the world, in actuality, it is much more aspirational. I would like to share with you my most painful and growthful experience with the UUMAN covenant, hoping that you will gain some of the lessons that I gained from it. Several years ago, I was the chair of the program council. It was a difficult time for UUMAN. We just did not seem to have enough. We did not have enough money. We did not have enough volunteers. We did not have enough sense of community. And during that time, I felt that our minister, Dave Dunn, was not honoring the senior women who were doing the bulk of the work here. Dave was searching for ways to include newer people in the work of the congregation. As is often the case in these situations, I was absolutely right. Long-standing, hard-working volunteers need to be acknowledged and appreciated. As is also often the case in these situations, Dave was absolutely right. We needed to create an environment in which newer members felt welcome to participate fully. 2 people, both of us right, were in disagreement. The Respectful Relations Covenant is a wonderful tool in such situations. Unfortunately, I completely ignored it, and consumed with the knowledge that I was right, I set about recruiting my team. My team would win and make Dave do what I wanted him to do. In that process, I did not respect him. I did not seek to understand by listening actively and attentively. I did not communicate in a way that would foster productive outcomes. I worked at winning because I was right and therefore he was wrong. Except, of course, that he was not wrong. Like the blind men trying to identify an elephant. He was looking toward the future of the congregation. I was focused on where we came from and where we were at that moment. That difference in focus is one way that 2 people can both be right and still disagree. That is the kind of thing for which the covenant should be used. I am very grateful that Dave stayed in covenant. He asked the Healthy Relations Committee for help. They set up a process in which a trusted friend listened carefully to me and invited me to meet with Dave and the committee. In that meeting, it finally became clear to me that I was so focused on being right that I had done great harm to my minister, someone with whom, until that moment, I had been quite close. I am not sure exactly how much healing took place during that meeting. For me, most of the healing has taken place over the years since then, as I have consciously focused on the many ways I appreciate Dave as our minister. One of the things that has become clear to me is that it didn't even really matter who won that struggle. UUMAN was going to both honor longtime volunteers and find a way to include newer members. I have learned that it isn't so much about what we do as it is about how we treat ourselves, each other, and our community while we do it. When asked to give a sermon today, I decided to share this with you because we are going to be going through some things. Over the past 2 years, we have grown by about 25%. Growth means change. I feel very confident that we will be able to go through that growth successfully because we have great love for this community and we have a covenant that provides the means to build that love.
Thank you, Shelley. That was a wonderful message. Spot on. In an effort to fulfill and further the vision and mission of this congregation, we ask that our members and friends share of their time, talent, and treasures. With this, we will now take the offering, and you can do that either through the baskets that are passed or through the Give Now option in Breeze. As we mentioned before, this month's 50/50 recipient is Family Promise, so any check specifically designated as 50/50 or any Breeze donation specifying Give to 50/50 this month will go to support their work. We accept this offering generously given by our members and friends to further the work of this congregation in our community and in the broader world. Thank you. And now, if you'll please rise as you're able and join in singing hymn number 121 in the hardback hymnal. Alex will play through once, and then we will sing together. Please join me as we extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Perhaps the most important aspect of a covenant is that it remains, even when we ignore it. It stays in place, offering us a path back to each other in love and respect. The service has ended. Go in peace and enjoy your week.